one thing I wanted to touch upon is like you're so like intelligent and dialed in with how you do your training camps, your times, understanding who and why you need to train those people. And I do remember a lot of the controversy when TJ left Alpha Male. It was a big deal, right? Because that was like a big key figure for you guys. And then obviously I don't think people understood why or what he personally needed. You go to Vegas, kind of the same thing, because you personally are taking care of your son, being a great dad, you know, being a good role model at that time, and kind of reimagining maybe your structure and how you would look at fighting moving forward. Do you now kind of understand, or do you feel later on in life you understood why maybe TJ had to leave for him and kind of like how you had to do it?
You know, I understood TJ from the start. You know why? Like I said, Dwayne, he had that chemistry with Dwayne. I had Justin Buckles, you know, that whole year. We had just a rhythm. We worked twice a week, and he ran the team. And he had Chris Holdsworth running the MMA side. Danny Castillo was doing the wrestling. Buckles was doing the striking. So it was just a co-op of everybody. You know, we in that year, our team went crazy record. It was like 100 and something and like 5 the whole year of all fights all over, UFC, belt, all this stuff. Structure. I think structure, what we spoke about on the way here, structure, routine breeds success. You know, and when I have something that's, you know, set out, laid out for me, I just know. I go and show up. That's easy. You know, we know what we're doing this day. So yeah, when I moved to Vegas, it was hard. You know, it was very hard for me because I knew what was going to be. I had to find new coaches, new teammates. Everybody in Vegas, like I told you, they train at 3 p.m. is the pro practice. So it's hard to do something super hard before the pro practice because you're trying to save yourself to push hard then and then do something after. So for me, I'm used to Team Alpha Male, and 9:30 every day was pro practice. And then you had, all right, if I'm going to do strength and conditioning with Rampage at 12, and I have jiu-jitsu at 6, you fill in the rest. You know, but pro practice was 9:30, so you hit the core pro practice, and then you fill in the rest of the day. You know, with training, with whatever you needed. And there's also other pro practices throughout the day in the schedule. So for me, there was no schedule. You know, so that's why I was trying extreme. I picked my son up at 3, practice at 3:30. You know, I'm all about warming up, being there. These guys that come in, you know, 10 minutes before practice, kick up the shoes and just go. I got to warm up. I got to get visual, you know, for myself to know what I'm doing. I'm pushing myself in this practice, not just showing up and clocking out. You know, I got to put myself all in there. So yeah, I definitely understood TJ. You know, like that was never an issue with me.
Yeah,
with that. Like, hey, I totally believe it. I have an uncle that trained me from boxing, built me from ground up. You know, I still bring him in my camps. So even when I went to Alpha Male, I went to different gyms, you know, like, and Alpha Male was my first real big gym that I ever went to. Yeah. I was literally training out of a horse stall barn, it had kerosene heater just to heat it up. We'd layer ourselves up before I never knew anything about training the way they train, you know, blending the strikes to the takedown, you know, the jiu-jitsu. Like, all we did was everyone in the area came from my uncle for boxing. So we would do boxing with takedowns. Not even kickbox. That's how I trained all the way up until I got out to Alpha Male. I'm like, oh, wow, I was out there for a week to check it out. I had to fly back home. And you know, I talked to Uriah. He's like, what do you want to do? I was like, man, I want to make it a UFC champion. You know, and he looked at me probably like, he's heard this so many times. You know, guys coming in, because he has so many people coming from all over the world to train with these guys. You know, I mean, like myself, I came from, you know, Ohio to train with these guys. He had people from Australia and England, all over the world to come train. Uriah. They had the best guys at our weight. You know, and you had Dwayne there, you had Martin Capman, you had a bunch of coaches there, but also you had the guys that were in the UFC that they would train themselves. Like Chad, they would show up wrestling, show moves. So it was like a co-op. Just a good environment to train at. You know, and he said, all right, man, get to 5-0, we'll get you to the UFC. Wow. You know, so that was my number that I needed, you know. Like, all right, focus on that number. I got to 5-0, got signed to the UFC, and then just took off from there. So I went 1-0, showing up, you know, kind of like I said, I broke my hand in my pro debut, and I had vertigo, real bad vertigo symptoms. So I had to do like vestibular therapy and UPMC. And then I was like, dude, I'm wasting way more time. I got to get out there, see how good I am. Went from 1-0 to 11-0 world champion with those guys. So, you know, forever grateful for what I was able to do. But now I'm at, you know, and I go to Vegas now. I'm like, I need this. I know what I need. And I don't need cheerleaders. I need a coach. You know what I mean? Yes, man. I need people that are going to shoot to me straight. So all my coaches, you know, they're not, they don't stay on me. Like, like, you're easy to work with. I'm like, yeah, this is what I signed up for. I don't need my hand held to come to practice, or, hey, I need to spar. I need this. I set up all my camp, all my training sessions, make sure my training partner's there. If I need to spar with someone, I pay him to come in. You know, they show up the other practices, you know, pads and grappling, that's there. You know, I think in Vegas is a good staple for bodies. You know, like you might be from a different team, you're from a different team. You go spar, you go fight, but like to have like the training, the drilling, hey, showing up at, you know, 9 to get these extra work in, you're probably not going to get that a lot. And so I was like, I had a lot of friends that I met through the PI that come to the UFC looking for, they don't have structure at their own gyms wherever they're from, so they come here. I'm like, hey, let's take from Alpha Mill what I learned and what kind of system they developed there to breed and to develop fighters that don't maybe have good boxing and kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, not so good. We blend it together and have these practices. So Monday through Friday, we have practice every day at 10. It's kind of open invite, you know, for everyone to come on because it's UFC. You know, we have to book it out.